Now in problem 4.51, we'll first try to draw this portion using revolve command. And on a same sketching plane, we are going to complete this bracket portion. And then we are going to add the holes. So start sketching on front plane. Use center line. Now let's draw the outer shape. Now let's provide the dimensions. So overall, this is 30. This diameter is 32. This is 27. And this is 20. Thickness is 4. Now let's complete this part, and let's trim this geometry. So go to revolve, use the center axis and right click. Now on a same front plane, let's begin sketching the upper part. Let's make bracket portion symmetric about center line. Now center distance is 16. This radius is 13. Let's draw a circle having diameter 15. Now let's extrude. This time mid-plane and thickness is 4. Now let's draw the holes. So here it is having diameter 5. It is located from this edge at 12. And make sure it is vertically aligned. Now let's remove the material. This time we need to choose through all both sides. Now let's also choose the right plane for the remaining 2 holes. So they are located over here. Their diameter is 5. And from the top, it is located at 20. Also let's align with the origin vertically. Now let's remove the material. Right click, OK. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 12711, which is completely correct. In problem 4.52, we'll draw this part of a sketch in top plane. Then we'll extrude this one and this one. And finally, we are going to create the holes. So start sketching on top plane. I will use midpoint line to create the outer shape of a model. Now let's apply dimensions. So this is 80. This is 150. Now let's use 3-point arc. 1, 2, and 3. Now make sure these endpoints are vertically aligned. And the radius is 75. Now let's trim, and please use this option, keep trim entities as construction geometry, so that we can maintain these dimensions reference. Now let's draw line by offsetting 15. Here instead of chain, let's use only single and right click. Now let's also draw a small circle having diameter 12. Now let's try to draw a center point slot. So click over here. Here it is starting position and this is ending position. Now let's apply. Now before that, let's draw horizontal line and also one more line joining this point to this point. Now let's apply the angular dimensions 30. Radius is 8 and this radius is 50. Now let's make this point and center line and make them symmetric above. Now let's extrude. This shape and this shape, but not mid-plane, by blind distance of 15. Let's use same sketch for extrusions. Now this is our region and overall height is 75. Now let's apply fillet of 20 over here, at this location and this location. Now let's drop circle over here. So use their centers. Now let's make these two circles equal. And let's give the dimensions, which is of 15. Shortcut key S and cut. Now let's go through all in proper direction. Now on the top, let's draw one more circle having diameter 25. Now let's create cut of depth 5. You can also use hole wizard to create the same holes. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 219660, which is a complete match with the solution answer. In problem 4.53, we will draw this section on front and will extrude by region. And then lastly, we are going to drop these holes. You need to be very careful about this small portion, which is extruding on a one directions by 5 mm. Start sketching on front plane. So line. Now let's apply dimensions. Let's draw this circle. And then let's try to draw the line. Let's add distance 80. One more line which is inclined. But here the inclination is 45. Now let's extrude. Shortcut key S and extrude. So first we're going to select this region and right click midplane. The depth is 90. Expand same sketch and click on extrude. choose this region, but the depth is 30. Here I need to make some correction. So let's clear this. I have to use this region. Again, let me edit second part. Here I need to add this region. Now let's reuse same sketch and extrude. But this time I have to use triangular part. Instead of mid plane, I have to use blind conditions. And the depth will be offset from this surface having 5 mm. But it is reverse direction. Now let's drop holes. So draw circle. Let's make them equal. And their distance from edge is 30. And from center to center is 25. Their diameter is 8. Now let's make their centers align with the origin horizontally. Now let's cut them. You can say remove the material. Here we need to use through all. Now let's use fillet feature. And we need to apply at this corner and this edge. Now select this face. Now let's drop circles. And it is having 10 diameter. Again, let's draw a concentric circle. Now let's make them equal. Sorry, I made a mistake. They need to be equal. So shortcut key S and extrude cut. Now let's measure the volume. So here it is 195556, which is a complete match. In practice problem 4.54, on a top plane, we are going to create this sketch. And then we'll extrude by this bottom part and this side part. Lastly, from the right side, we are going to create these chamfer edges. So on a top plane, now let's draw a rectangle whose width is 62 and length is 112. Now right click, select midpoint and control and select this origin and make them coincident. Now let's offset by 27. Now let's draw the center line to create the slot. Or directly we can use slot and remove the material. Now let's apply. Here radius is 9. From here to here it is given 29. Now let's make them symmetric above center line. Now let's also add few more things. So horizontal it is 7, vertical it is 11. Now select these two, click on mirror, select this line and create the mirror. Now let's drop lines over here to create the chamfer. So from here to here it is given as 15. And from here to here it is 8. Now let's select this and click on mirror. Now let's trim. Please be careful, keep this option on so that relation we have used to dimension this edge from this is remain in effect. Now let's click on extrude. First we are going to extrude and select this region, this region. So you need to be careful what you are extruding, okay? So let's go and click OK. Again, expand the sketch, shortcut key for extrusion, select this region, and here it is overall height is given as 42. Now let's create here the line, not from the midpoint. Let's make sure these two are horizontal. And let's also apply a small center line to make these two lines symmetric about. Select this, and make them symmetric. Now from here to here it is 12. From here to here it is given as 28 degree. Now let's go and create the extrusion cut. Now let's drop small holes here, having diameter 7, and it is located from top at 9. Make sure it is vertically aligned and remove the material. Now let's measure the volume. So volume is 120198, which is a complete match. Problem 4.55. If you look at very carefully, it is a straightaway application of extrude boss feature. You need to be very careful how to extrude each region in which directions. So you need to be very precise about end conditions of extrude features. So we are going to draw this on top plane, then we'll extrude one by one. So start sketching on top plane. Let's draw larger circle of 62 diameter. And on the right side it is of 44. Now distance between these two is given 65. Now let's draw the tangent line. Now let's make them horizontally aligned. Also let's draw small circle having diameter of 15. Let's draw circle in the center having diameter 26. Now let's draw the section part or slot, you can say. So here I need to use center line. Now let's draw a rectangle. Now dimension is as given, and this is 5. So here let's align with this part. This must be horizontal, and let's make rectangle symmetric about the selected line. Now let's trim. Make sure you have ticked this option. Now let's draw another center line from here. Now it is exactly at of our length 120. Now let's add the angular dimension. So select dial and select the endpoint and select this part and extend it to drop the angle value. Or you can draw a horizontal line and give the dimension value. Now let's draw circle over here of 15. Another circle of 44 diameter. Now let's draw line tangent to circle. Select this, click on mirror. Now almost we have created the required geometry. Now it's time to extrude the region. So let's first extrude region, this one. Select this. So it is of 10. But here you also need to consider this small part. Correct? So do not forget it. And now let's click OK. Again, expand, same sketch, go to extrude. This time select this region, change the depth. Now very careful, it is given as 10. So blind thickness is correct. Again use same sketch for the third extrusions. Here we need to select this one, the larger diameter. Now if you careful about it, it is totally given as height is 40. Please read the dimensions and their references. Click OK. Again, let's reuse same sketch. This time, this part, and this part. Please do not forget to select this as well. But here, we need to change the surface. So this is our surface, and here we need to add a 10. Now, again, let's reuse the same sketch and extrude. But this time I have to choose this. And starting condition will be this surface, and blind depth as given is 10. So you require a complete attention for creating this object. Now let's measure volume. So it is 230,344, which is correct answer. In problem 4.56, in front plane, we are going to create this sketch. We'll extrude it. Then we'll use this outer shape to remove this much material. And lastly, we are going to drop this slot. So start sketching on front. Let's use a mid-plane line, which is, I think, perfectly suitable. So here it is 125. Now let's draw center line to create diametral dimensions. This is of 150. Now let's draw 3-point arc. Now radius is, here it is given 64, but actually it's a diameter. So radius is 32. Now let's draw a horizontal line. Let's make this tangent. And let's make this coincident. So overall dimensions from here to here it is 42. Now let's mirror this part, and this part, and right click, select this and right click. Now let's extend this line. Now shortcut key S and extrude. This time mid plane, depth is 55. Again, on a front plane, let's create new sketch. So select this and convert entities. We need to draw a horizontal line. The distance from top edge is 20. Now let's remove the additional unwanted part of geometry. Now let's go and create the extrude cut. But mid plane and the width is 37. Now let's draw slot. So select this surface and click OK. Let's draw center line. Now here we need to use straight slot along with the dimensions. So this horizontal dimension is 33 and this dimension is 6 means 12. Now we need to make this and this align horizontally, and also distance from this first center to this is 28. No, it's wrong. It's not 28, but it is going to be diametral dimensions. So it is 28. Now let's mirror. Right click and select this one and right click. Now let's go feature and create extrude cut. Now through all both and click OK. Now let's measure the volume. It is 190758. So it is completely correct. In problem 4.57, first we are going to draw this part on a right plane and this geometry on a front plane. And we'll apply the fillet on both sides at last. Start sketching on right plane. So the outer diameter is 65. Now let's extrude. Instead of, we are going to only use outside circle. Depth is 100. Now on a front plane, let's start sketching again. Now let's draw center line. Now let's draw bracket shape. Let's apply the dimensions. The outer radius is 23. Now let's use center line. Select this, control center line and this vertical line and make them symmetric. Now from here to here distance is 52. Now one more circle having diameter 25. Now let's draw center line and draw a rectangle. Make sure it is symmetric about center line. This is 10 and from, let's say, here let's drag and keep it over here, and overall height is 5 as given in sketch. If you consider this part over here, then there will be a change in the answer value. Now let's trim the part. Now let's extrude. But at both sides by 65. Now let's use the first sketch and create extrude cut. But this time I need to select the region. Now let's apply fillet of 6 value. So we have applied fillet. Now let's find the volume. Here it is 351250 and the answer is 347206. Let's find the difference. So our answer is 351250 divided by the given answer 347206. So it is more than 1%. So it is not correct. Let's try to make some correction. So here let's edit this sketch. Instead, let's give the dimensions 5 from here to here. Now let's exit and let's again measure the mass. So it's not much change. So 350572. So let's find the difference. So 350572 divided by 347206. So this is again less than 1%. So this is correct answer. In problem 4.58, we'll first create on a front side this cubical part without cut. Then we'll drop these holes along with this larger part, and then we are going to remove material from here and we'll add this top cut along with the slot. So on a front plane, let's use center rectangle. So overall dimension is 50 by 50. Let's extrude at mid plane, but the width is 90. Now on a right plane, let's draw circles. Now diameter is and they are located at given distance of 35 from the origin. Now let's make them align horizontally. Let's also draw two more circles at center. Outer diameter is 25 and the offset is of 3 but inside. Now let's create extrude cut, but I need to select these regions, this circle, and the middle circle. Now let's create a cut. Now let's on a front plane create one more sketch. This time offset is given as 5, but it is reverse. So extrude cut, both direction, click OK. Okay, now let's go back and create extrude, not for all circles, but only this region. And extrusion from the middle is given as 74. Now let's roll back. So we do not have to create separately. This way we will save the one feature. Now let's create that slot cut over here. So let's draw now diameter is 4, so radius is 2. Distance is 10. From here to here it is 15. Similarly, now let's draw this rectangle cut. So here this is 10, this is 8, and this side is from horizontally at 10. Now let's draw center slot, this time with dimensions. Please make sure you have ticked this. So this is going to be half of it, means total 20, it is going to be 10. And this is radius 10, so it is 20. Now let's offset by 3. It is reverse, select the chain. Now let's extrude, cut the material. Shortcut key and extrude. Here this time we need to select the contour. This one, this one, this one. Instead of through all, we need to select up to next. So up to this surface, it is going to remove the material. If you select the through all, it will also going to cut material from this surface. Now let's expand same sketch and click on extrude surface. Instead of, let's use this region, not mid plane, blind, and the thickness is 7. Now let's measure the volume. Here the volume is 81296, but the given answer is 81002. Let's find the difference. So 81296 divided by given answer. So it is even less than 1%. So model is correct. In problem 4.59, we'll draw this sketch on top plane and then we'll extrude this bracket portion one by one. Start sketching on top plane. Draw this diameter of 25 value. Again, start the center point arc. Now let's draw the line. It is of form 50. So this is going to be 50. Now let's make them tangent. Let's also drop few circles here. One more circle having diameter 15. Let's make them a line. If you look at very carefully, its dimension of center from the edges is 15. It is aligned with this bracket hole. Now let's extrude by 15. Now let's complete over here. So from now let's add dimensions 15. And from here to here it is 30. Let's draw circle of 12. Now same thing over here. You can copy the sketch. But I think drawing the same sketch would be easy. So this is again 12. This is 15. From here to here it is 30. And from here to here it is located as 35. Now shortcut key for extrusion. Instead we need to extrude one by one. Alright, so we made a mistake. So we need to go back to the sketch and we need to extend the portion over here. So from here, here and here. Now let's remove this part. Click OK. Now yes, shortcut key for extrusion. This time I need to select this region and this region. So it is going to be of 15. And click OK. Again expand same sketch, click on extrusion, clear this selection, and this time this is going to be on reverse directions but having same extrusion depth. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 144672, which is a complete match with the given answer. In problem 4.60, we are going to draw this shape in front and will extrude by given depth. And finally, we are going to remove this material and add the holes. So start sketching on front plane. So let's use center rectangle. Here it is, overall is 42 by 75. Also here, and this depth is 33. Now let's add the fillet for 13. Let's add hole which is of 10. Now let's make them equal. Now let's draw hole over here having diameter 23. Now from here to here it is given as 127. Now let's draw center point arc. Now radius is 25. Make sure it is centrally aligned. Now let's add lines from here to here and from here to here. Now let's remove the material. Now let's add center slot. Now untick this add dimensions. Now let's add dimensions 35 and radius is 6. Now let's extrude. Now this depth is 10, which is correct. Let's click OK. Again expand the same sketch and extrude. This time I will choose this middle part. And the overall is depth is 37. Now let's go on right plane and click create sketch. Now let's draw a center line. Now this should be aligned with this. Let's add some dimensions. This is 13. From here it is, this is 10 typical, and also from here it is 10. Now select all this and untick this and click on mirror to create the mirror copy of a selected geometry. Now let's complete the region. Press shortcut key and invoke the extrusion cut. Now select on both direction and remove the material. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 134393, which is a complete match.